I wouldn't. Rosie, honey, I gotta use your little stool. I'm gonna sit on your little stool if I can, Rosie. Well, it's gonna be kind of awkward, but I'm going to, hello there. Oh yeah, this is perfect. I'm on Rosie's little bitty stool, and we are looking at this moon. I hope it's clear. I'm literally, do you know where I'm at? I'm inside my house. I'm looking at my bay window, watching the moon, because it's really cold outside. It's super cold. And, hey, what's happening with that? Why is it doing that? Look at how the moon is moving around up there, and this is on a tripod right now. You are lucky, but I don't think you're the first one. Oh, yeah, you are, Andrea. That's right. Hello, MZK. Why is that moon shaking? Ask yourself, why is it shaking? Because it is not my tripod. I hope it isn't my tripod. Okay, here's my, I can shake my tripod, but I don't think that the wind can shake it. I don't even have that much wind coming through the window to shake my tripod like this. Rosie, honey, I hope that you don't think that you're going to jump out this window, because that is going to be really bad, Rosie, if you think you're going to jump out this window, because you would literally die from the fall going down into the driveway, Rosie, honey. You can't do it. No, get down, Rosie. You're a little baby. I cannot let you up there, Rosie. You're too little. She is a little baby. What is happening with this moon? Because I'm trying to focus it. It's like it doesn't want to focus. Let's see that. That's like really close up. I really could not tell you why this moon is moving like that. This is really strange, and I'm not joking. This moon should not be moving like that. I do not have like a big strong wind coming through my window. I've got the upper part of my window tucked. The upper part of my window is on, and not on, but the upper part of my window is open. But that moon, it shouldn't be doing that, you all. It's moving, and it should not.
No, it's like hella moving around. Like the moon is moving and shaking.
I've got a real sturdy tripod.
If I was a murderer, I would have killed the sheriff. If I was a murderer, I would have killed the sheriff.
Like I'm gonna see if I can.
Told ya.
I'm even holding my tripod. My tripod is not.
Told ya.
There's something going on with this moon. I just wonder what it is. Let me bring this down a little more. I don't want it tightened all the way up, but this is weird. Try to move it down to see if we can keep it in here. Well, let's see what it looks like in that one filtered mode. See, that's the inverted mode. The craters, why is it moving like that up there?
It's getting pixelated.
It's literally wobbling. That moon is wobbling up there. It shouldn't be wobbling like this. Let's see if I can like bring it up closer. We want to see it closer. Let me see if I can focus it. A ship.
What you? It's the eye right here, nigga. It's the who? It's the eye over here. You see over here? It's the who? You see the GD over here? Who GD? If you ain't GD, what the fuck is you doing with me?
I'm fucking dead.
We just got outside. Damn, bro. We just got outside. We back out here. Y'all told me to pull back up, folks. This new one on King Day. Okay, hey, my brother, good brother. Okay, trying to find one of them I can interview. I'm trying to see if I can interview one of them one-on-one, you know? How do you feel about this about Louisville, the hidden tunnels, the secret hidden tunnels?
Excuse me, can I ask you a question?
What was you guys really hiding underneath them tunnels?
It wasn't a tunnel.
How do you feel about the New York Police Department exposing them hidden tunnels?
It was a basement.
It was a basement?
Yeah.
What was them bloody?
Fucking factual.
What was them bloody beds? What was them bloody beds? It was beds. It was kid baby beds, bloody beds. What was that? What was that? There was ritual. There was ritual. I just want y'all to know, black people was the real Jews. Be cool.
I'm from Judea,
Y'all,
and Judea's in the Middle East.
you Jewish, my brother. You are your own.
My family lives in Israel for 100
You gotta know your history, gang. Know your history. Okay, Dad. Martin Luther King he did that would have been Jimmy, but we already know. Malcolm X was a black stone, gang. Malcolm X was a fucking black. You don't even know who that is, okay?
That nigga is stupid.
Where you from? Where you from? Throw your son up, okay? Where your paper? Where is you from, okay? Hey, where you from? Where you from, gang? How you coming on video? Where is you from? Where you from?
I'm from Israel.
You
You're
my
dancing?
brother. You from Israel. You from the motherland.
Yeah, I
The
am.
motherland.
I am. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I hear you. It's cold as hell. And y'all surrounded me on King David. Y'all surrounded me, gang. Why is you gripping my hand like
Put
that?
on a coat. You should drink some hot tea, and you should connect to your own soul and stop
I'm
reading
fucking dead.
articles on Twitter. All right.
The Kabbalah Lewis is right there. I just went there 2 times and they kicked me out. Why they kick me out?
It's screaming like a lunatic.
Because I'm screaming. I'm finna go in that comedy.
That nigga went in there and said free Palestine, and that dude spit on him. Trying to beat him up. I'm fucking dead. That old man. Nigga went in, went right back out. No, he should really make a song.
So they told me to come back out here on King David. So I'm finna see what's to him.
This is the part.
I'm back outside today on King David. How y'all coming? Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all good? Yeah, where you from? Where you from?
I'm from Jamaica right now. Oh, what's up, my friend?
Yeah, you know everybody. You know everybody on King David.
We're from Colombia.
I'm from Colombia. Chicago.
What?
I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist from Chicago.
Look at this.
That nigga said I'm from Jamaica at first. Well,
How do you feel
then
about
you're
this?
from.
The hidden tunnels.
Amazing, man. And the tunnels?
The tunnels. How do you feel about
Ah, it's
that?
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You been to the
The
tunnels?
air conditioning was
The air conditioner. The air conditioner. Hey, I'm telling you, gang, y'all heard it here. That's Javon Louis. They got air conditioning in the tunnels. Y'all see where we at? Kingston, Eastern Parkway. Javon Louis. Ah!
This nigga about to give you the.
My brother, how you doing about Javon Louis? The secret hidden tunnels. No tunnels. I heard there's air conditioning in the tunnels. They told me to come back. They said the air conditioning in the tunnels on King David.
Air conditioning in the tunnel.
Yeah. 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 Do you believe black people are the real Jews?
I believe that black people could be Jewish also.
Wait, say it again. Speak to the mic. Speak to the mic. Say it again. On King David, say it one more time. For the black people, they want to know what's going on at the crib. Do you believe black people are the real Jews?
I believe black people could also be Jewish. I don't
And he got his
so that's what we're saying.
his
Nah, for sure.
child Jesus.
You know black
He got his tag on.
people.
I'm Jewish also.
I know you Jews, but y'all stole our culture, bro. Y'all
These niggas
stole
is white as shit. Looking.
y'all people. Black people are the real Jews, man.
Real Jews.
No, we all could be Jews, but black people are the real Jews, man. In the Bible, we are the real Jews, man. What you mean? You do your research on King David. Do your research on black people being the real Jews. Do your research. Nigga, you gonna say do your homework. It's not no J Made podcast. Do your research on black people being the real Jews.
My ancestors were from Africa more recently than yours.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I'm from Morocco, from what the fuck, Algeria.
Your skin is Caucasian. You from the
Oh, King David.
Well, hello. It's Vegas Police, and we are on Death Valley Beach. which is a relatively rare event. This is Death Valley, California, and it has filled with water. After a couple of storms and an atmospheric river, you can see that Death Valley has become a lake. It almost looks like an inland sea. Super cool. Let's walk around to the beach area here, right in front of us. And look at all that salt that's encrusted right there into the sand and dirt. It really is spectacular. Snow-capped mountains right there. Wow. You don't see this too often. The inland sea, Death Valley. One more time across to the mountains. One more time across to the lake. Vegas, Pauly C.
Is a lie. How were three sons of King Charles II described during the Jacobite uprisings? From the Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackay, Esquire, published in 1733. First off, at page 36, we have described Charles Lennos, Duke of Richmond, is son to King Charles II by the Duchess of Portsmouth. This is the depiction Wikipedia and most modern history books show us. Now let's read how he was described. Quote, "He is a gentleman good-natured to a fault, very well bred and hath many valuable things in him, is an enemy to business, very credulous, well-shaped, black complexion, much like King Charles, not 30 years old." Second, John Mackey describes George Fitzroy, Duke of Northumberland. Son to King Charles II by the Duchess of Cleveland, was one of the captains of King James's Horse Guards, which he quitted at the Revolution. This is the depiction on Wikipedia. Now let's read how he was described. Quote, "He is a man of honor, nice in paying his debts and living well with his neighbors in the country, does not much care for the conversation of men of quality or business, is a tall black man like his father the king, about 40 years old." Next. On the same page, we have two characters related to King Charles II, so I will read the description of both. Charles, Duke of St. Albans, is son to King Charles II by Mrs. Gwynn, was made by King William one of the bedchamber. This is the depiction on Wikipedia. Now let's read how he was described. Quote, "He is a gentleman every way de bon naturel, well bred, doth not love business, is well affected to the constitution of his country. He is of a black complexion, not so tall as the Duke of Northumberland, yet very like King Charles, turned of 30 years old." Below we have Charles Fitzroy, Duke of Grafton, is grandson to King Charles II. Quote, "Is a very pretty gentleman, hath been abroad the world, zealous for the constitution of his country, a tall black man, about 25 years old." By now, the pattern is clear. Three sons and a grandson of King Charles II, of the Stuart line, were described being tall and of a black complexion, much like King Charles II. Before some smart idiot says, "No, they are talking about hair color, please believe me," ignoring the fact, complexion in early modern English meant primarily the color of one's skin. Just like in contemporary English, this coping mechanism easily disproves itself. Charles Lennox and Charles Beauclerc both are depicted in their Wikipedia images clearly having brown hair. So why are they described by a contemporary who lived at the time, John Mackey, as having a black complexion if complexion somehow means hair? Like and share for more lost history. And that's why we say,
BY is real. Y'all asked me to look into this Kansas City Chiefs parade shooting. Is it real? Is it fake? If you know me, you know what I'm going to say. All right. I'm going to show you how this is a psychological operation, a psyop. And also stay to the ending of this video. I'm going to reveal a shocker. How they used a New York rapper to predict this shooting 18 years before it even happened. Without further ado, let's get into it. All news is numerically scripted using this system right here. Gematria, Greek, for geometry. ABC equals 1, 2, 3. The reason why you're hearing about at least 1 dead and 22 injured is because National Football League equals 122. Kansas City, where all of this took place at, equals 122. Look at the top bar. Even when I type in 1 killed, 22 injured, that equals 105. Patrick Mahomes' birthday, which is September 17th, that is a day leaving 105 days left in the year. And the only person killed, their last name Galvin, equals 105. Go figure. For the ones that watch my Super Bowl 58 decode video when I showed you why Donald Trump is going to become your next president due to the Chiefs winning, well, this ain't no different. You see, DJ Lisa Lopez, her name matches Donald Trump's name. You see the 48 and the 60 in the same cipher, which could only mean one thing. This was a numerical fake death sacrifice in showing you who's going to be your next president. Not only that, when you pay attention to the 60, DJ Lisa Lopez dies on 60-date numerology. 2 plus 14 plus 20 plus 24 equals 60. Again, this must be a hell of a coincidence for this person right here to die on Valentine's Day. See why it's real. How planned is this in advance? Well, all your news headlines are reporting about a Kansas City Chiefs parade shooting, and that equals 324. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl on a day that leaves 324 days left in the year. Another coincidence, right? So let me get this straight. Patrick Mahomes won his first Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year, a day that left 333 days in the year because 2020 was a leap year. Fast forward, he wins his third Super Bowl by passing with 333 yards. He passed the game-winning touchdown to number 12, which 1 plus 2 equals 3. The address to this Super Bowl venue is 3333 Al Davis Way. And then fast forward 3 days later, there's a shooting where 3 gunmen are detained. Y'all know I saved these mind-blowing Discovery grand finales for last. Are y'all ready to see how they used 50 Cent to predict what was going to happen 18 years later? Let's do it. 50 Cent drops his album The Massacre on March the 3rd, 3/3, a date that leaves 303 days left in the year. On top of that, for my hip-hop heads that remember, this album was supposed to be called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and it was supposed to drop on Valentine's Day. Well, for some odd reason, they pushed it back to March the 3rd. On top of that, the intro song to this album starts with a female saying Happy Valentine's Day. She pops in this tape, and then next thing you know, you hear a whole bunch of shooting and screaming going on, a whole massacre. Well, that was track 1 out of 22 tracks, right? What did I say earlier in this video? National Football League equals 122. Kansas City equals 122. And there was 1 dead, 22 injured. Y'all really want some more proof? It's fitting to get dark from here on out. You see how The Massacre, 50 Cent's album, equals 112? And so does Chiefs. But not only that, Chiefs also equals 50. I really am just about to walk off because it's man. You know what? Just stop playing with my emotions, man. Damn. And the reason why he's wearing this number 80 jersey is because when you spell out 80, it equals 88 and 25. Just like Trump. Trump also equals 88 and 25. Yes, they plan this stuff out in advance. You gotta wake up. You're live from the Matrix where they predetermine stuff for you and they pre-plan them for you. When they schedule things years upon years in advance, it's so you can accept them in the present when it actually happens. But the only way to break from this Matrix is you gotta wake up and see that this stuff is not real. This shooting wasn't real. This Kansas City shooting wasn't real. It was all fake. This is a stage play. It's an act. The world is a stage. Nothing real about it. This portrait behind me was the 1994 Denver Airport mural. Okay? And you see what it looks like. So what happened 26 years later? I believe you know. My name is B.Y. Israel, but I don't do conspiracies. I do real-ass information. And as always,
men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Church is set up by the occultists. Black people go into these churches and they just praying to some spook god in the middle of thin air. Nevertheless, they have this powerful energy. And although if they don't attribute it to themselves, that energy goes somewhere. And as a result, these occultists are the towns that we live in and the cities we live in, they gather that energy in ritual, and that's what runs these damn cities. So what happened is they just leave this stuff out, and they got these people, they sit down during the same time, and they suck all that essence up.
Rashad Jamal was set up for a trade-off. He was set up for a trade-off for a music career. To undermine his divine energy and his divine insight, somebody wanted to replace his ascending music career, so they sacrificed his ass and made this shit up. And the ringleader of that shit was Isis Wisdom. That's why she slid up under him and made him cut off everybody that could give him the spiritual support that'll pull the veil off that bullshit and let them see it for what it is. The motherfucker, Remedy H, I don't know him. I don't listen to him. I don't know nothing about him. I seen him one time. Somebody sent me his video. He one of our new boys. He not staying here. He'll tell you that. When the ships come, wherever the fuck they coming from, he gonna be on one. I'm not gonna be on. I'm earthborn. I'm from here. Right? And since I'm from here, I'm gonna tell y'all, Remedy H had enough spiritual power to give the spiritual support to Rashad Jamal to block the shit Isis Wisdom was doing. So she made him turn on him too. Right? Everybody that could have gave him the spiritual support system, she told him to cuss that motherfucker out and tell him what it is, because she the highest rank angelic in the realm, which was some bullshit, because she would have knew who he was the minute she seen me. The same way that Malachi know who I am, Farrakhan know who I am, that bitch would have knew too. How you gonna be the highest ranked angelic in the realm and don't know who the responsibility of putting the great mother back on their throne? That's not possible. You can't be the highest ranked angelic and then the information is above your pay grade. You have to, if you the highest ranked angelic, that is your pay grade. Then you wouldn't need to overcharge people, talk about you got a select clientele, giving motherfucking $40 yoni stings for $1,400 because your name is Isis Wisdom. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Rashad Jamal was set up.
Gotta be careful with these migrants. I seen a video and was explaining and talking about the migrants, that they came to take over. And you know what? I thought about it. I thought about it. The way I've been seeing these migrants in the city, they carry a different energy. Listen to me on this one. These migrants carry a different energy and a different attitude. The way they are, it don't feel real. It don't seem real. And I don't understand. The people that is asleep, they have such a connection with these people. And it's like they have no soul. It's like these migrants are soulless. Like they have no soul. It's like dead carcasses walking. And from my perspective, when I look at them, it's not people that look like they came to enjoy a good life in America. They're not even happy in America. They actually been terrorizing it. And the way they are, the way they carry themselves, it's like they up to no good. It's like something's about to come. And it's gonna start with them. I'm telling you, something is off about these migrants. Something is off with them. When I look at them and I see them on the train or the bus, it's like soldiers. You understand me? It's like soldiers. It's like they waiting for something to pop off and happen. Man, we don't even know who's invaded our country. And I think we ain't being invaded. And I think it's them. Just hear me out on that one.
Talking about what is going on in Antarctica right now, and it blows my mind that people are just not aware. So a couple of days ago, these satellite images mysteriously appear on the internet, and they are said to be that of a frozen mysterious ship in Antarctica. And since then, there has been a quarrel over the actual rights to Antarctica. Mind you, Antarctica is one of the few places that every country has agreed to stay away from. Now, it looks like they're trying to undo that for some weird reason. The Antarctic Treaty was signed on the 1st December in 1959 by 12 nations that have been active during the IGY, which included Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Chile, France, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, United States, United Kingdom, and the USSR. And this treaty was very short, but they said it was very effective with keeping people out of Antarctica. And the treaty said that it should not be used by any nation and that it will not be the scene or object of internal disorder. And here are the 14 stipulations of the treaty that came from the article. And the first one stipulates that Antarctica should be used exclusively for peaceful purposes, military activities, such as the establishment of military bases or weapon testings are specifically prohibited. So they cannot put military bases or even test weapons in Antarctica, which is huge considering what they do in America nowadays. It also says that it promotes international scientific cooperation, including the exchange of research plans and personnel, and requires that results of research be made freely available. It also prohibits nuclear explosion and the disposal of radioactive waste. Whatever is in Antarctica, they are trying to protect and preserve it. Yet, as of today, here is Iran that is now saying that Antarctica, all that preservation is their property and they are ready to explore it. Iran's Navy commander said that we have property rights in the South Pole. We have planned to raise our flag to carry out military and scientific work, along with a long laundry list of other things they plan to do. But what's so crazy is I don't understand where all this is coming from. And I don't think if you guys remember when this picture came out, they tried so hardly to deny that this was a ship in Antarctica. Well, look at it. That's literally a ship. Not only that, but there is this Norwegian cruise that was said to stop in Antarctica, and they literally canceled it mid-fucking cruise on the itinerary. It was a 14-day itinerary, and all of a sudden they said, nope, we're not going to Antarctica. We got to drive right past it.
Most of the people that I actually showed it to were incredibly unsettled. They couldn't sleep after. I think that people develop some type of post-traumatic stress disorder from it. Because it's more like knowing that there is something out there that we can't possibly see or communicate with that could just pop in and out. You almost feel like we are, they're obviously aware of us, but we have not been aware of them. So it kind of gives them that upper hand over our species, and it's just weird knowing that. It is unsettling when you think about it when you're alone. It's very uncomfortable because most people have kind of gone with their daily lives thinking, okay, we're alone, this is just it, pay our bills. But when you actually know that we're not alone, that's different. Then you're led to more questions about what's out there, what does this all mean? It makes you question your reality, and I think it sets up the situation for you questioning your reality, and a possible mass psychosis or something. It's I could see why, you know, people would be uncertain. So we're working with, you know, a media team to tell our story in the right way, and in a way where we can share the footage in a safe way.
President Trump said a while ago that Morocco was the first nation to recognize us as our own nation. Morocco was the first government, I think he said, that recognized us as our own nation. What he was saying is that Morocco and the Moroccan Empire, which America is a part of the Moroccan Empire, that's why they called us Moors. This was all the Moroccan Empire, were the first ones to recognize the Europeans as their own nation. We allowed the Caucasian Europeans to come here and establish their own nation, their own government. They have their own flag, their red, white, and blue flag. That's not the flag of America. That's the flag of those people. And we allowed them to do trade and commerce here because they were escaping the bad things that were happening to them in Europe by the brutish Moors, also known as the British. So, you know, like Trump said, the Moroccans recognize us as our own nation because they are their own nation. Just as now they're considered Americans. But let me get back to how we know that our republic is back in place. Because Governor Abbott, who's the governor of Texas, sent his own National Guard to protect his borders. Now, the only way you could do that is if you're recognizing that you're a sovereign entity. You're your own country, you have your own laws, you have your own National Guard. That was huge. And then after he did that, Biden said, I'm going to federalize the National Guard and bring the National Guard under my rule so that you can't protect your border. Well, then the Texas Attorney General said, not on my watch, and he said he forbade Biden, the president, because he's not the president of America. He's the president of the United States Incorporated, which is a group of bloodline families that took over the indigenous people's government and incorporated themselves in Delaware in 1871. So the Attorney General in Texas said, you ain't coming over here. And he forbade Biden from coming over to his country or his state of Texas. Not only that, but Governor Abbott reached out to President Trump, who is the commander-in-chief still right now, even though people think Biden running things. And he reached out to him and said, we need support because Biden is threatening to come over here and remove our National Guard and to federalize the National Guard so he can have control over them. So President Trump encouraged the Republican-led states to send the National Guard to Texas. So now 25 other states sent their National Guard to Texas to guard the borders. 25 states said, we stand with Texas. There, you can look, you can find it's documented. Now you just have to figure out where it is, or you can follow the Dr. Kia Pruitt show on YouTube and you can see that I documented that, or you can follow me on Rumble. So not only do you have 25 states that have put the National Guard on the ground to guard the borders in Texas, but they're guarding the borders all over America. Mainstream media just will not announce that. Additionally, we know that our republic is in place and that we now are operating in our sovereignty, is that 43 states passed laws to reclaim silver and gold as money. That's huge. Because according to our Constitution, the only thing that can be used to pay off debt is silver and gold. And according to our Constitution, the dollar is defined as a fixed weight in silver. And again, you can only use silver and gold to pay off debt. So all I'm saying is this is soft disclosure that our republic has been restored. We're back on the constitutional law, and the sovereign people, the indigenous people, and the chiefs are back in control.
Hurt ya?
No, get down. He won't hurt you. Get down.
Yeah, purgatory won't hurt any of us.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about?
Who are you talking to?
This has been our reaction to so much of what's gone down in this matrix and our own lives. Just like Truman's wife, many of our loved ones aimed to make us seem crazy for simply walking the path of truth.
tell me what's happening!
Well, you're having a nervous breakdown. That's what's happening.
You're part of this, aren't you?
And of course, like Truman's best friend, we've had those in our lives who just wish to drink a beer and chill out on all that finding the truth stuff. As Truman wakes up, he realizes that spontaneity and following his intuition makes his surroundings glitch, leading him further to the truth, rather than following the norms that his surroundings suggest him to maintain.
Truman, where are we going?
Really know. Guess I'm being spontaneous. Locked at every turn. Beautifully synchronized, don't you agree?
In realizing reality isn't what he thought it was, Truman starts exploring, leading him to confirming that he's the center stage of it all. This is just like what the living souls have gone through. Our own experiences have become more and more misaligned with the narratives of existence taught to us by our families, the media, government, school system, workforce, and even parts of the truther movement. Of course, Truman's awakening, like ours, is met with some obstacles, but each obstacle ends up propelling Truman into following his own heart. Truman's greatest fear is the water. As a child, his father's death was staged to keep Truman in fear's bondage about boats and anything having to do with water. At the end of the movie, he faces his greatest fear in an effort to leave his old life behind. He sails away, allegorizing the confrontation of one's shadows and facing ourselves in an effort to find the authentic self. He can no longer stay in the matrix of deceit. After a great storm inflicted by Christoph, Truman remains, hits a wall of sky, and into the void he walks, exiting the matrix. He has completed the inner alchemy of breaking free from all earthly restraints, limiting beliefs, and judgments. And that is how the movie ends. This whole time, we've been guided to confront the depths of our sub and unconscious, to look at the monsters under the bed. Singularity is about merging the light and the dark into a central force that soaks all of creation in unity. Truman poses as if he is on a cross before he exits the dream world. He has become of Christ. This is Christ consciousness being reborn. The cross, as we've explained before, represents the cubing of our consciousness. A cross is a cube unfolded, and we funneled ourselves into this dream to be reborn. There's a scene in which Truman is shown sleeping, coated by an emerald light. This is significant because we've been saying on this channel that we're in the emerald dream, meaning we're sleeping until we can reintegrate the emerald heart energy that was obfuscated into the above and below. Truman exiting the Matrix is really his exit from the emerald dream, reclaiming everything that he is in order to leave. In one scene, a button reads, "How's it going to end?" That question has been on all of our minds, and we know how it all ends. The Matrix always was a figment of one's innermost. It ends when that condition is resolved and the heart space dissolves the net of magnetics, which has held together the toroidal structure of this temporary encasement.
UFO seen above North Conway has now touched down in Boston. Take a listen to this.
Well, you're going to think I'm crazy. There's something that just went from right to left to right in a blink and then flashes lights 3-4 times and vanished.
Okay, that might be those two aircraft, I'm not sure.
This thing went 180 degrees in like a second.
And just in case you're not up on your aviation, planes that go 180 degrees in a second don't exist.
Oh goodness, alright. Yeah, let me know if you see it again. We'll make a report.
Well, the details, it literally went from one coast to the other in front of us, and then it went up like 30 degrees, turned off its lights, or whatever it had. It looked like it's a bright orangey thing.
Bright orangey thing. In Boston. Could this be a traffic cone?
And then, since we spoke to you last, it flashed us like 3-4 times, and we are still looking at it now.
I gotta say, this guy sounds very composed for a man staring dead on at a UFO.
80 miles in front of us, and it looks like it's coming, I don't know, it's flashing towards us. But it is definitely not an aeroplane. It doesn't have a strobe lights or anything on it. It's just this bright orange going on and off. Yep, this definitely wasn't an aeroplane.
Renegade traffic cone, giant illuminated dunk sign, multicolored water tower, or UFO. Nobody really knows, but what we do know, folks, is that there's some strange things happening in the skies of New England.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. Access granted.
Snakes, like I used to see myself in the water. I had an encounter with the mermaid spirit.
What is that, and in which realm does it exist?
And I saw this white, woman, half fish, half human. This woman was saying to me, we're gonna see if that name of Jesus is gonna work.
So there are people who are like me and you, but that live underwater. That's what you say.
Yes.
Physically, not even spiritually. They live underwater.
I delivered someone who was born into the occultic. She's a mermaid. So when we ask her how do you enter into the realms of the water? She just sits like this, then she focuses, then she goes. She will leave her body. And how Drakensberg Mountain is, like, looks like a dragon when you see it from far. Shaped like a dragon. So it's a dragon mountain. There is a dragon there.
Yeah.
Mound raids typically refers to a series of events in North American history involving the destruction and looting of indigenous burial mounds and archaeological sites by European settlers, explorers, and early American pioneers. These raids occurred over several centuries and had significant consequences for indigenous communities, archaeology, and the preservation of cultural heritage. The mound raids were primarily driven by European settlers' curiosity, economic interests, and the belief in the superiority of Western civilization over indigenous cultures. Many settlers viewed the burial mounds and other archaeological sites as sources of treasure, artifacts, or scientific curiosity, rather than as sacred places or repositories of cultural knowledge for indigenous peoples. The earliest mound raids occurred during the colonial period, as European settlers and explorers encountered indigenous burial mounds and earthworks throughout North America. Explorers such as Hernando de Soto in the 16th century and later European settlers often disturbed or destroyed these mounds in their search for gold, silver, or other valuable artifacts. Additionally, early archaeologists conducted excavations of burial mounds in the 19th and early 20th centuries, often without regard for indigenous beliefs or consultation with indigenous communities. One notable example of mound raiding occurred in the 19th century with the opening of the American Midwest to settlement. As settlers moved westward, they encountered numerous burial mounds left by pre-Columbian indigenous cultures such as the Adena, Hopewell, and Mississippian peoples. These mounds were frequently plundered for artifacts, such as pottery, tools, and jewelry, which were then sold or traded by settlers or collectors. The mound raids had devastating consequences for indigenous communities, as they resulted in the desecration of sacred sites, the loss of ancestral remains, and the destruction of cultural artifacts. For many indigenous peoples, burial mounds are sacred places that hold the remains of their ancestors and are central to their spiritual and cultural practices. The looting and destruction of these mounds represented a profound violation of indigenous sovereignty, identity, and connection to the land. Furthermore, the mound raids had a detrimental impact on the field of archaeology and the understanding of North American prehistory. Many artifacts removed from burial mounds were lost to private collections or museums without proper documentation or context, making it difficult for archaeologists to reconstruct the history and lifeways of indigenous peoples. Additionally, the disruption caused by mound raids hindered effort.
Watch this video. This is crazy. The police chief in Kansas City slipped up and called the people involved in all this actors. What is really going on? This situation in KC just continues to get more and more strange. What are your thoughts on all this? Comment down below, share this video wherever. Check this out.
We were here for a safe celebration, and because of 2 bad actors or more, it is why we're standing here today. We will recover as a city. Because of 2 bad actors or more, it is why we're standing here today. I don't have a specific number of actors in this. I don't have a specific number of actors in this.
So again, what's really going on? You heard it for yourselves. They mentioned actors on more than one occasion. So what is really going on with this? This is some strange stuff. Again, comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on all of this.
The Congo jungle is 500 million acres, nearly half the size of the United States of pure jungle. That there are spots in the Congo where no European has ever stepped foot. You understand me? Let alone African. There are tribes that are in the Congo that have never heard of the United States, never heard of Russia, never heard of the Holy Bible, and their day goes perfectly normal every day. Pure paradise. Study the Congo, study its people. You will find out the meaning of life.
Vanessa, everything okay?
This thriller is amazing.
Wrong with this place.
What do you mean?
Out in the forest.
This movie is so rare.
Kept walking around.
Look at this.
It's like I was in some kind of loop.
I love you, but you need help. I lost a son. I don't want to lose you too. It's the anniversary of Obi's death.
I can't talk about this right now.
You gotta be patient with her. It will be all right.
Didn't your dad say they did experiments around here?
They shut the facility down.
It's a mental movie.
The forest was reclaimed as a preservation. He was searching for something. He lost his mind. And now I'm losing my wife.
Oh my god.
Everything okay?
This place is strange.
Alex?
We never met. I'm from a different space and time.
What are these spaces?
Fragmented versions of the world. The paradox is that we can't coexist. The space is already...
You gonna tell me that we put plants, spices, dead animals all in a cauldron and follow instructions written by people in a book from 100 years ago and soup isn't witchcraft? Horse shit.